And I want to share with you just some other statistics about child abuse. If you really haven't bought in yet, why is this important? Why am I doing this? It's not just because it's part of the Revised Code of Washington. It's not just because you're studying to be a teacher, because you're a teacher candidate. It's because this is a real issue, and we need real solutions, and we need people paying attention so that we can stop the cycle of abuse. So what are some of those numbers? 90% of kids know their abuser. 30% of kids are abused by a family member. 30%. 60% are abused by someone the family trusts. That's a high number. 40% of kids are abused by an older or a more powerful child. That's not necessarily about age. It could be about their size. It could be about their personality. 10% or less are abused by a stranger. 7% of kids are victims of emotional abuse. 1 in 4 dating teens, no matter their gender preference, 1 in 4 dating teens are harassed via technology. Kids are 20 times more likely to be the victim of abuse if the single parent has a live-in partner. 20 times more likely. About 9% of kiddos who are 10 to 17 years old have unwanted sexual requests while they're on the internet. About 75% of child pornography victims are living at home when they're photographed. About 23% of kids, while they're on the internet, have unwanted exposure to pornography. And there are related issues. That's our third module I mentioned. The 10th leading cause of death for all ages is suicide. And suicide is definitely related to kids who are abused. 1 in 10 kids, 1 in 10, are sexually abused before they turn 18. 66% of the victims in sexual offenses are reported to law enforcement. And on balance, a whole lot of kids who are abused, there are no reports. Kids are 2.5 times more likely to be raped than adults. 2.5 times more likely for the kids you'll have someday in your classrooms. 35% of kids that are abused are under the age of 11. So don't be thinking this is an issue just if you plan to teach in the secondary level. Kids are 10 times more likely to be abused if they live in foster care. Suicide, as we already mentioned, is related. Third leading cause of death for kids who are 15 and to young adults up to the age of 24. For most of you, that's your cohort. The second leading cause of death for 15 to 24-year-olds is homicide, which is connected to youth violence. 74% of the kids who are abused are victims of neglect. So that is indeed the most common form of child abuse. 74%. I can guarantee that you'll see this during your teaching career. 4% of kiddos are victims of other types of maltreatment. And we always are very concerned about sexual abuse, but I want you to know that of all the victims of child abuse, only about 9% are victims of sexual abuse. We want that to be 0. That's why we're here.